Good day. Thank you for joining us for today's news. If you find this helpful, please consider subscribing. We're here every day with calm, clear updates just for you.
Police Commissioner Richard Chambers is feeling angry and let down after allegations surfaced that former Deputy Commissioner Jevon McSkimming accessed child exploitation and bestiality material on his work devices. In an email to staff, Chambers admitted he shares the same feelings of frustration and disappointment. McSkimming resigned in May amid ongoing investigations, and the allegations have sparked a wave of concern among police officers, many of whom feel betrayed. The interim injunction that had prevented the media from reporting on the nature of the material has now lapsed, allowing more information to come to light. While Police Minister Mark Mitchell has assured the public that New Zealand has a world-class police force, the allegations have raised questions about the integrity of senior officers. The situation has left many within the police force feeling disillusioned, with some expressing the belief that McSkimming's actions could damage the reputation.
A growing number of families in New Zealand are worried about changes to the Working for Families support program. Financial organization FinCap has warned that the proposed adjustments, which aim to reduce debt and improve Rugby, could actually fence to move from annual to quarterly assessments. But critics say this could create new problems for those already struggling. For example, a parent who takes on temporary work might see their payments drop for months after the job ends, even if they're no longer working. FinCap CEO Fleur Howard argues that the current system isn't enough to cover basic living costs, and the changes could make things harder for low-income families. She suggests that the quarterly assessments should look forward, not backward, to better reflect people's changing circumstances with over $300 million in outstanding debt. Already the government considers its next steps. Families are left wondering if their support will be enough to keep them afloat.
To celebrate its 25th anniversary, Stuff has rolled out a series of nostalgia quizzes that take fans on a trip down memory lane. These quizzes, crafted by Stuff's quiz producer Shara Hume, are filled with questions about 80s, 90s, and 00s pop culture and kawaii. The tone is light-hearted, and the difficulty has been adjusted to cater to a wide audience, from those who can still sing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme to those who can recall the details of 9/11's. One of the 10 no questions is about the unusual waivers film No Country for Old Men, where Anton Chigurh's private news app Turua, You How To. The quizzes are not just a way to test knowledge, they are also a celebration of the past. Fans are encouraged to send their feedback to quiz@stuff.com.nz, as the team is considering making the quizzes a more permanent feature of the website. Whether you're a trivia buff or just looking for a nostalgic trip down memory lane, these quizzes are a must-read. They are a tribute to the past and a reminder of the cultural moments that shaped the 20th and 21st centuries.
The All Blacks have started their season with a commanding 3-0 sweep over France, proving their dominance on the international stage. While the French team wasn't at its strongest, the All Blacks' performance was a testament to their adaptability and depth. Fabian Holland, the towering lock, made a strong debut, showing promise. Baudin Barrett's leadership was crucial, with his goal-kicking and playmaking leading the team to victory. The series also highlighted the importance of players like Cam Roigard, whose absence in the third test exposed a gap in the All Blacks' game plan. Scott Robertson, the head coach, was able to experiment with tactics. With the Rugby Championship still a month away, the All Blacks now have time to reflect and prepare for the next set of challenges. The team's a tough trip to Argentina. The team's ability to adapt and overcome adversity bodes well for their future as they continue to build on their legacy in rugby.
Inflation is set to hit a 12-month high in the June quarter, driven by rising food and power costs, squeezing household budgets. Consumer prices are expected to rise 0.6% in the quarter, pushing the annual rate to 2.8%, up from 2.5% in March. Economists say the spike is temporary, with core inflation trending downwards since peaking in late 2022. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand faces a tough balancing act between controlling inflation and supporting economic return. While some predict a short-lived increase apparently present in the September quarter, the RBNZ has hinted at further rate cuts later this year, with some analysts expecting the cash rate to drop to 2.5% by early next year. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether inflation remains transitory or becomes more persistent, shaping the path of monetary policy. Moody.
New Zealand must move away from government buyouts of properties damaged by extreme weather and adopt a more equitable long-term approach to climate adaptation. Matt Whineray highlights the need for transparency, sustainable funding, and a shift in how risk is managed by both in high-risk areas pirates.
In the early hours of Sunday morning, a violent fight on Alexandra Street in Hamilton turned deadly, leaving one man dead and 3 others injured. The incident, which police believe may have been linked to a club event, has led to a major investigation. Officers were called to the scene just after midnight, following reports of a brawl between 2 groups. A 20-year-old man succumbed to his injuries in the hospital, while the other victims suffered injuries ranging from moderate to serious. Detectives are still searching for those responsible, including the alleged main offender. The area was reportedly crowded after the All Blacks test against France, with bar workers. Police have increased their presence in the central city and are conducting reassurance patrols. As the investigation continues, the community is being urged to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity. Conversation of such firearms.
In a tragic incident in northern Gaza, at least 67 people were killed by Israeli fire while waiting for UN aid trucks. The Gaza Health Ministry reported the dead rate as 6. The UN World Food Programme condemned the violence, calling it completely unacceptable. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to deepen, with reports of starvation, malnutrition, and hospital. Over 58,000 Palestinians have been killed in the war, and displacement has reached nearly billion. As Kenjan 的智慧与勇气 As the international talks in Doha stall, the international community calls for an immediate halt to violence and a greater influx of aid to prevent further loss of life.
New Zealand is grappling with the challenge of climate change and how the government should support communities affected by natural disasters. The chair of a recent controversial will not be left to suffer alone. However, the report has sparked debate over the future of government assistance, particularly with regard to property buyouts in high-risk areas. Matt Whineray, the report's chair, emphasized that the government will always have a role in alleviating hardship, but he argued that compensation should not be based on property value. He pointed to international examples where governments have risk locations, with the government acting as the default insurer. Professor Jonathan Boston of Victoria University highlighted the challenges many people face in relocating, including mortgage obligations and the inability to sell properties in high-risk zones, which can leave individuals in a state of poverty purgatory as the Environment Ministry works on a 4-piece Dan Touris. The challenge lies in ensuring that public resources are used wisely while supporting communities in making informed, sustainable choices about where they live.
For over 10 years, residents of the small far north town of Keo have been under a boil water notice, a situation that has become emblematic of the neglect faced by many rural Maori majority community. Despite hopes for a clever solution, the issue remains a daily struggle for locals.
That's all for today's news. We appreciate your time. If you enjoyed this update, please consider subscribing. Your support helps us keep going.